Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People's Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction. Check them out, dpsconstruction.net. This is my gut reaction to Nebraska's 45-7 loss to Michigan. All right, so my initial reaction is Michigan's one of the best teams in the country. That's what they look like, okay? And we look like a team that has a long way to go. This is what happens when one of the best teams in the country plays a team with a long ways to go. So I've got some other thoughts. All right, real quick. This was kind of a, rough game. I don't know if it's shocking. It's not what we wanted. I was hoping it would be closer. I was hoping the defense would play better. I was hoping we could get it to the second half. None of that really happened. All right, but if you still bleed Husker red through and through, hit the like button. All right, Michigan starts with the ball. They go right down the field. They score. And I'm standing on the sideline with a bunch of former players. There's a bunch of former guys here. And I'm like, the last thing we can have is a 3-and-out. We didn't have a 3-and-out. Instead, what we had was a ball batted into the air, and unfortunately it was intercepted. Gives Michigan a short field. They go in, make it 14-0 real quick. Now, Nebraska did drive down into Michigan territory. Okay, a little bit later on, we had a 4th and short. And who knows? Maybe this is a turning point in the game. Probably realistically not, if we're being honest. But a 4th and short, I would have loved had we gone quick and ran something quick. We called a timeout. We needed to get organized. When I saw them in shotgun, I didn't know what was going to happen in the play. I didn't know the play call, but I said I don't like it already. Okay, I would have preferred one of two things. Get under center, have about 84 running backs behind the quarterback, do a quarterback sneak and push. It's almost impossible to stop that play. Have you watched other teams run it? Or if you watch film and you're not confident you can do that if you're Nebraska because you're prepared and you're like, I don't know, do what Oregon State did to Utah Friday night. Bunch everyone in and then pitch it outside to the running back, and Oregon State ran for like a 40-plus yard touchdown on a pretty good Utah defense. I know Utah got their butts kicked, but they're hurting at the quarterback position without Cam Rising. Okay, so for me, not a turning point in the game. I'd like to think it was, but it was something I would have liked to have seen done differently. Okay, you can analyze 20/20 hindsight, all that stuff is pretty easy. All right, a few minutes later, J.J. McCarthy scrambled for a 21-yard touchdown run. The guy is faster than people realize. Michigan goes up 21-0. Now at this point, I wrote it down. Michigan had 192 total yards, okay, in just their first couple of drives. But what they were doing is they were running zone running scheme, and they were putting 84,000 tight ends on the field because that's what Jim Harbaugh does. It's what he did at Stanford. It's what he did with the Niners. And then they were just running zone running plays, and the running backs were hitting cutback lanes all day, okay? And Harbaugh, I'll have to look at the film. It's hard to see from the sideline. He has a history of also putting linemen at tight ends in those extra tight end formations, but that's hard to see when I'm on the sideline. I'll look at that a little bit more later on. All right, they had over 100 rush yards at that point in the game. Now, as I look at the scoreboard right now, they ended up with 249 rush yards, okay, which is obviously way more than Nebraska's given up all year. Maybe even all the other games combined. We were just sloppy today. We had ill-timed snaps. We had snaps that weren't good. We had balls on the ground. It was just a little bit of sloppy play. We didn't have as many turnovers as honestly we could have because there was balls on the ground that we happened to recover. But we still had too many turnovers, and I said coming in, we had to win the turnover battle to have a chance, just a chance by at least 2. We obviously did not do that. All right, the defense did not play anywhere near as well as I had hoped, and this is the best Michigan's looked all year. I got to imagine that they, and again, it's easier for me to see when I look, when I watch the game again. What I saw initially was zone running schemes, getting J.J. McCarthy the ability to throw, the ability to run, and he did those things really, really well. He showed you today why he was a highly recruited quarterback coming out of high school. Okay, because J.J. McCarthy, Michigan's quarterback, played really well. I mean, at halftime, here's some of the stats that stood out to me. It was, I believe, 28-0 at halftime. They had 13 first downs. We had 4. They had 247 total yards. We had 121. We were 8 of 10 passing. They were 9 of 12. Harburg was, in that first half, he was fairly accurate. We just can't stretch the field very well. We don't have a vertical passing threat. And so people just jam the box. They run blitz, things of that nature. But he was fairly accurate, at least in the first half. We only had 37 yards rushing. They had 131. We were averaging 2.8 yards per carry. They were averaging 6 yards per carry. Okay, you can't play like this versus the number 2 team in the country. And again, it's one game that sucks. It's one game that we were big-time underdogs for a reason. It's one game that I was hoping we could be competitive. The defense would play well, maybe get us to the second half, maybe don't be sloppy. What you saw was a Michigan team that, I don't even know if they had any penalties today. 0 penalties today. Okay, not only are they talented, they're disciplined. 0 penalties, okay, and I don't remember a turnover. I'll have to go back and look and double check, but I don't remember a turnover, a penalty. Talented. You saw what a top 5 team looks like, top 2 team looks like versus a team that needs to get better in year 1 under Matt Rule. All right, we opened the second half with a 56-yard poster from Harvard to Marcus Washington. Okay, we get in Michigan's territory. We get the opportunity to kick a 40-yard field goal. Tristan Albano, the freshman, misses. He's 1 for 4 on the year. He's a talented guy with a bright future, but I do think Rule has to evaluate the kicking position just a little bit. Okay, and here's the deal. Midway through the third quarter, Michigan put their backups in. So I'm like, you know what? First of all, I hope we don't get shut out. Would have been the first shutout since 1996 versus Arizona State. It would have been the first shutout at home for Nebraska, I believe, since 1968. If I'm wrong on that, I'm going to throw Keith Mann under the bus because he's the one who told me that on the sideline. But I'm like, are we going to get outscored by their backups? So I did. I kept track. And the rest of the game, Michigan's backups outscored our starters, or whoever was in the game for us, which was our starters, 10-7. Okay, take that for whatever it's worth. Now, year 1s under Matt Rule tend to be rather rough. Okay, but years 2 and 3 tend to be a lot better. There's a building process to this. Okay, I will say this: there are winnable games going forward. Okay, this was a crappy game. It was worse than I hoped it would be, thought it would be, predicted it would be. Okay, but you know, Illinois is winnable, Purdue's winnable, Northwestern's winnable. There is no excuse for us not to get to a bowl game this year and get to 6-6. And the schedule every year going forward after this is the easiest Matt Rule's ever going to have it. Because we got Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA. No disrespect, but we're not bringing in the cows and those teams of the world, with all due respect. It's only going to get harder. Okay, so I think we can get to a bowl game. I think there's winnable games. We obviously have a long way to go, to put it mildly. Okay, I mean, some of the game stats, I mean, we can look at them if we want. Michigan had 26 first downs, we had 10. Okay, time of possession, they had it 17 more minutes than we did. At one point, they had more rushing yards than we did, total yards, but they had 249 rush yards, we had 305 total yards, they had 436 total yards. Okay, it is what it is. They ran almost 30 more plays than we did, 74 to 46, so 28 to be exact. All right, it is what it is. All right, let me know in the comments below, how much do you read into this game? Is this just, hey, Michigan's really good, we got a long way to go? Or Adam, you're undervaluing how big this game is? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Rick Harbert. How do you think he played today? Okay, I couldn't help but notice that I felt like Michigan's backup defensive players were getting to Harvard almost sometimes easier than their starters. I hope that's not because we gave up. I hope that's not the case. I don't know. How do you feel like Rick Harbert played? Also, I'm just going to say, do you feel like our defense got exposed today, or Michigan's just really, really good? All right, let me know in the comments below. As always, all right, check out Doc Talk, check out Corn Praise, check out John Johnson, check out the merchandise, check out Fan of the Week, check out Where Are They Now? All your football hopes and dreams will come true at CarrikerChronicles.com. Go Big Red, and always remember to throw the bird. If you're a diesel mechanic, CDL driver, or concrete finisher looking for work in the Omaha metro area, DPS Construction is the employer for you. If you're a general contractor, building owner, or property manager looking for concrete repair or work done in the Omaha metro area, such as street paving, building floors, and parking lots, check out dpsconstruction.net.